Yo, 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 what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your astrology forecast for Friday, July 14th of 2023. Appreciate you all joining me in this video. Hope that you guys are having a wonderful week so far, and hope that you guys have a fantastic Friday. Even though a lot of the energies today are going to be very awkward. We've been dealing with awkward energies for a while now. I think we can all feel that we are really about to hit this breakthrough point, and things are about to shift forever in this world. But you know, we are still in this sort of awkward phase right before that happens, and we're all just doing the best we can to find some sense of balance, some sense of, you know, security during this. Where we feel solid and to find our peace through all this. So yeah, let's go ahead and hop into the transits for the day and see what we got. Let me actually share my screen because I haven't done that yet. So there we go. I hadn't shared my screen yet. See, awkward. All right. Anyway, so we start the day off with that moon still in Gemini here at 14 degrees. It will spend the rest of the day in Gemini, and it's moving to, and by the time that we get to the end of the day, it will be officially in the balsamic phase. The balsamic phase is at a time that the moon is within 30 degrees of the new moon phase. So we are very, very close to that aspect, right? So we start the day, of course. This Mercury is here at 6 degrees. It is actually going to be making the quincunx over to Saturn, right? Just making that quincunx over to Saturn, the awkward stare from across the room, as I like to call it. Mercury and Leo's wanting to communicate and express itself, express its creativity, its passion. Saturn's retrograde, though, in Pisces, saying, it may not look exactly the way that you want to right now, and don't come calling me for too many answers and stuff because I'm on vacation. That's what Saturn is retrograde. So it's not that Saturn still can't do work from the retrograde spot in Pisces. It's just that, it's not, it's like Saturn's like kind of like figure it out. Utilize your tools, utilize the options, problem solve. Saturn retrograde in Pisces is literally the universe telling us to problem solve, right? We can't just go running to Saturn for all of our answers and be like, how do I do this? How do I organize this? How do I do this? How do I fix this? It's like, no, you gotta like be resourceful, right? You gotta be resourceful. And I think in many ways, that's what Mars and Virgo is going to be teaching us, is how to be resourceful and how to, take action that is meaningful. And especially because it did trine the North Node of Taurus, and we're not going to see that again for a long time. We're not going to see Mars and Virgo trine the North Node in Taurus for a very long time, let alone at these degrees, let alone, of course, with Pluto here at the edge of Capricorn. We'll never see that one again. So there's definitely this element to the day and just in general right now where we have to take all of the tools, all of the experiences that we have had, that we have accumulated to this point, and extract the data from these experiences and utilize that data, right, to move our life forward in a positive way. Realize that we have a lot in our lives to be grateful for, that we have a lot of things in our life that are going well, even though that there are some things that may not be going exactly the way that we want. We have a lot of things that aren't going very, very well. We have to adjust the way that we perceive these things, though. So we do have that energy starting off the day. Now, like I said, we also have this quincunx between Venus and Neptune. So there's definitely this dance right now that's going on between the Leo energy and the Pisces energy. And this quincunx between Venus and Neptune is going to go for a long time because Venus has stopped, right? It's pretty much stopped. Like, it's going to stop at 28 degrees of Leo. She's moving very, very slow. She's going to be here for the next 8 days, essentially, which means that she's going to be quincunxing Neptune for those 8 days, as well as Pluto. And she's not going to quite get to the Pluto quincunx exact, but the element and the energy is still there. So Very awkward. Venus is wanting to feel beautiful, right? With the Leo energy, it's wanting to feel shiny in many ways, and it's wanting to be received by other people in that way, you know. But Neptune is going reverse. It's going backwards. It's retrograde, which means that he's awake. So this is sort of like waking up to the reality of what things are. And then Pluto is like, well, shoot, like we're at the edge of this cliff, if you will, and you're wanting to, feel beautiful, wanting to feel and beautiful. It doesn't necessarily have to be like physically. It could just be like mentally, spiritually, right? But you're wanting to feel this light. You're wanting to feel this passion. You're wanting to feel the love. And then Pluto's here at the edge. It's like, yo, I mean, like, are you really worried about the way that your hair looks and your nails look? Are you really worried about the way that shirt or that jacket looks on you? Are you really worried about all that when we have all these other things that are kind of crumbling, and the foundation of the society that we have built is about to shift forever, and you're kind of worried about these these things that are important, mind you. It's always good to like. It's important to feel good. It's important to feel beautiful. It's important to feel passion and love. It's important to feel all of that. But we got to ask ourselves, what is truly valuable? So, we have Jupiter here in Taurus. We still have the North Node in Taurus. We're only going to have this energy for a few days. But that's what feels awkward about this, is trying to find the passion and the love in such weird and awkward times when we know that the world is shifting forever. We are waking up to a new reality. Not only that, but we are being pretty much told that we have to kind of figure this thing out on our own. It's not that the universe is going to like not give us clues or hints, or that our angels and guides aren't going to be helping us, but the training wheels are off. That's the thing about this. The training wheels are definitely off. And we have to figure out a way to navigate this energy. Well, the training wheels have been on for the last 2,000 years for humanity. Believe it or not, the training wheels are coming off in the age of Aquarius. They are coming off. And now we got to figure out how to do this thing for real. So as we continue to move this forward, you're going to see, like I said, Mercury is still going to be King Consulting Saturn. Venus is going to still be King Consulting Neptune. We're going to keep the same moving forward, right? And that moon is going to hit 16 degrees. It will eventually hit 19 degrees come 4:30, and that will make the sextile over to Chiron. So, moon and Gemini, wanting to kind of figure some things out, definitely wanting to feel like it could connect to other people in many ways. And then, of course, with this Chiron, though, it's like it's wanting to connect in a very powerful way, but there's an opportunity here, but are we worried about how it maybe looks or is presented? It may look a little weird. Chiron and Aries, definitely. You got to remember, Aries is it's the natural first house. And it's kind of like the natural, like, original ascendant. So in many ways, it's about looks too. So especially when it comes to, this is like a don't judge a book by its cover kind of energy, right? The moon in Gemini is definitely, especially since, you have Mercury here, that's going to be dispositing this energy of the moon in Gemini. And it's here in that first decan, right, of Leo, which is ruled by the sun. And the sun, of course, is here in Cancer, which is in the decan of Neptune. There's definitely this element where we can potentially judge a book by its cover and not realize the depth of experience or the depth of legendary quality that could be underneath that. You know what I mean? So Chiron, I like to say that it definitely is a place where we can unlock our gifts. It's the place where we can like unlock this door and kind of walk into a new world. I find it to be our superpowers. But generally, when you look at like a lot of superhero origins, their superpowers come up because of traumas. You know what I mean? And then they feel like they're tasked with, saving the world or something like that. Or they go the other way and they become villains. Or they stay somewhere in the middle because, like, hey, just because I have the superpower, why do I have to save the world? Why do I have to be a good guy, if you will. And I think some people are going to be actually thinking about this. I think, especially when the North Node goes into Aries, this is going to be a moment where a lot of people really start to question what are they going to do with their superpowers. Are they going to be a superhero? Are they going to be a super villain? Or are they going to be somewhere in the middle? I think most people are going to choose somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean? You're gonna have some people that definitely go the superhero route, and you're gonna have some people that just go the supervillain route because that's just what they choose in this lifetime. So we are still, of course, with that North Node in Taurus, we're still like trying to figure out like this last little bit is like, okay, the roots, the foundation. Are we solid? Do we know our truth? Do we know our value? Can we move forward? Um, yeah, pretty much. Now, by the end of the day, we're going to have, around 10:30, we're going to have that moon hit 22 degrees, right? So it's going to hit 22 degrees, semi-sextile over to Uranus. And by this time, it does move into that balsamic phase, of the moon. So it's going to be within 30 degrees of the sun. And then this, of course, begins going into this weekend, where we really are going to, this is going to be a really doozy of a new moon. This new moon is going to be happening around 24, 25 degrees of Cancer. And it is, of course, while it does make a trine over to Neptune, it's still going to be, pretty much opposing Pluto. So it's not necessarily going to be the easiest energy to deal with. Now, this is going to be the last new moon in Cancer that we get that does oppose Pluto and Capricorn. So it's very, very important about establishing, how we feel in the midst of massive transformation. Like I said, we are in the time skip right now. So this first new moon, this is like the first new moon in Cancer that we have since the whole time skip. And the time skip, like I said, is Pluto going into Aquarius and then going back into Capricorn, right? So this is that first new moon since that. And because Pluto is back here in Capricorn, there's going to be this element where it's like something that, like maybe even like a villain or something that we dealt with before the time skip kind of comes back up. And we have to go for like round two, if you will. Now, I don't think that now this round two, this boss battle, if you will, it's going to be interesting because the other person is going to improve, but you're going to improve leaps and bounds as well. That's the thing about this. It's sort of like, when you first go through like a Pokemon game and you battle like the Elite Four or whatever like that, and you beat the game, and then you can go back around and you go back and face the gym leaders again. And the gym leaders, they have stronger teams. Their Pokemon have leveled up. Same thing with the Elite Four, but so have yours too. So it's like there can be this fear that comes in with this energy where it's like we wonder whether or not we can actually win this battle. But you have leveled up. Just because your opponent has leveled up doesn't mean that you haven't leveled up as well. So that's the thing that I want you all to remember just generally this whole weekend. I'll talk about that more in the weekend astrology forecast too. But that's definitely something I want you guys to consider. The other thing too about this is that the moon at this point is actually going to be, as the moon moves into the balsamic phase, it makes a semi-square over to Mercury. So it's like what, 8:38, 45 degrees. It's a 45-degree angle between the moon and Mercury, right? By this time, Mercury is at 7 degrees. It's coming off of the quincunx of Saturn, but still within a 1-degree orb. So it's still like less than a degree technically too. So there's definitely some challenging energy to today because, like I said, we were wanting to kind of connect. The moon's at 22 degrees. It's in the decan ruled by Uranus. Uranus is at 22 degrees as well. So there's definitely some awkwardness when it comes to that. Remember, like the whole thing with Uranus and Taurus too, Uranus is in many ways about the collective and connection, but it's also randomness, it's electricity. And when it comes to like the foundation of like how things of like just like society and how it's built, because this is the third decan of Taurus that's in it, which is Saturn, the ruler of Saturn. Saturn rules Capricorn, right? And Pluto is here at the edge of it. So this is why like you see a lot of weird things with unions and alliances that are starting to break up and starting to shake up. And that's why there's a lot of electricity around these areas, because the way that we think that society looks right now, with all of the different unions between different countries and states and such, they are breaking down, they are breaking apart, and it's not going to look the same. That's why this whole energy is so awkward, because we feel like life is supposed to look a certain way because it's always looked that way. But here's the thing, it hasn't always looked that way, right? There hasn't always been a United States of America. There hasn't always been a European Union or an African Union or whatever like that. There hasn't always been these things. They've been here for a while, right? But that doesn't mean that they're always going to be here too. So that's the thing about this too. Um, I wouldn't want to see America break up. I wouldn't want to, but it may happen. It may happen, but I wouldn't want to see that happen. But the semi square here is going to be telling us, like, you know what? Like I said, Mercury is still wanting to communicate that love and that passion. It's at 7 degrees, though. Seven is in numerology, it's Neptune energy, right? It's Pisces energy. So it's definitely going to take, this is going to take on like a bit of a spiritual quality, right? Where we feel like, we are imbued and inspired by spirit to really express our love and our creativity. This moon in Gemini is definitely wanting to connect with people as well, but it can feel a bit awkward. It can feel like it's just trying to come to that first meeting. You know what I mean? It's trying to just initiate that conversation. I think that's going to be a bit awkward for us. So this can play out in the world stage, but this can also play out just like in your personal life as well, where maybe there's someone that you want to connect with, or just something that you want to do, or a project, whatever, but just trying to figure out how to initiate that, you know, that thing, the interaction, that beginning may feel a little bit weird, I think one thing that's going to help us through this, of course, is going to be the things I think are the planets I think that will really help us do this is Mars and Virgo. I really think Mars and Virgo is probably going to be one of the main things that really helps us do this, because even though it's an earth sign and Mars really wants to move fast and get things done. In Virgo, it's definitely about taking action that really does matter. It's about taking act. Mars and Virgo is definitely wanting to clean a lot of things up right now. So it's like there's definitely this element where when it comes to like cleaning up things and making sure things are neat, Mars is going to kind of turn into a bit of a neat freak. But also Mars, like I said in Virgo, it's also about getting dirty. It's about planting those seeds. It's about getting dirt underneath your fingernails and being okay with that energy as well. But also having the cleanliness. Cleanliness is next to godliness. So Mars is definitely going to be teaching us that energy, and how really just putting one step in front of the other, taking it step by step, day by day. That's really what's going to get us through these moments, because so when this moon goes into Cancer, you're really going to feel it. And then this new moon's going to happen. And you're going to be like, holy crap. And then move on into coming up on that Venus retrograde in Leo, and the Lion's Gate, and the sun opposing Pluto before going into this gate and stuff like that. And that's going to be a whole element where it's sort of like we are going to be like, it's like we are going to be really walking into a new world, and we already like defeated, this these fears or this boss battle and stuff like that. And it's like before we even step through the portal, it's like they have like one more sly remark to make. Is like, you know what, you might have beaten me, but you're not going to survive in that new world. You're not going to make it over there. And then that's the moment where you look back and you smile and you thank them for the challenge. You thank them for the experience points, and you walk through that door. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and get the cards for today. So, all right. Let's see what we have for the cards for today. All right. I have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. I also have the Princess of Pentacles upright, though. Eight of Pentacles in reverse, Princess of Pentacles upright, and bottom of the deck, I do have the Six of Cups. I do have the Six of Cups. I think there's definitely going to be, I think today we're definitely going to want a bit of a nostalgia kick. And honestly, I think a little bit of nostalgia is actually going to go a long way just in general, because even though this world is shifting and changing, I think it's good to kind of tap back into aspects from your past that did really give you joy. I mean, especially with all these energies in Leo, and Leo does rule children, does rule childhood, and the sun's about to come into this area as well. I think one thing that can definitely help us get through this is to kind of remember like a simpler time. You know what I mean? I don't think we can just go back to not to like, life without responsibilities. We can't go back to that. But what we can do is, kind of just tap back into that aspect of ourselves. This Eight of Pentacles in reverse, I think this deals with the frustration of the day-to-day grind. You know what I mean? But you also have the absolute power to still make it through those moments too. There are going to be some days where you don't want to go to the gym. There are going to be some days where you don't want to do the work. There are going to be some days where you don't necessarily, there's some days where I don't necessarily want to make a video. There are going to be some days where you don't necessarily want to get down and do the work, but you absolutely can. But just remember too that in those moments, you don't necessarily have to force the issue. Take a time to kind of break and just kind of tap back into something more nostalgic. It's called the soulmate card and other things like that too. She's kind of just like staring off into space while he's giving her a kiss on the cheek. You know what I mean? So it's like you got this bird in the back that's like looking at one of the cups as well. And so, if there's a moment today where you feel a little bit frustrated, where you just feel like you're not really getting your best work in, know that first of all, that you are super valuable and that you have the power to actually do that. But also, take time to just kind of chill out and rest, like take like a breather, take like a 15-30 minute and watch one of your favorite shows from your childhood, even if you haven't watched like it in a long time. Or shoot, go for a walk, or freaking, I don't know, go to I guess you could go to a playground and go like on the swings, stuff like that. One thing I've been wanting to do is to skate. I have my skates here, my inline skates, but I need to find like a place to actually go skate. Because the place I used to go to, it's much further away because we moved and stuff. So I got to find another place to go skate, but something like that, something that makes you feel the youthfulness and the joy as well. Not neglecting your responsibilities, but take time to just remember a simpler time as well. I think that's going to really help all of us during these moments. So I know for me, it's probably going to be, I kind of do it anyways, because I primarily watch like anime. So, but I'll probably just like for me, it'll probably be streaming later. I'll probably like stream like some Pokemon or some FIFA or something like that later. I don't know. So we'll see what I end up doing. But that's what it'll probably end up being for me. So shoot, go get some ice cream. Do something fun. You know what I'm saying? Like this is, especially since we're moving into this era where things are about to shift and everything like that, and you've been doing a lot of work. You've been doing a lot of the spiritual work and everything like that, and healing and everything. Just, this is a day where we don't have to take ourselves super, super seriously. You know what I mean? A lot of awkward energy right now. A lot of things that we're trying to navigate. We don't have to take ourselves overly serious today. But we do have this card of solitude and silence, peace prevails. It's kind of interesting. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you are, say you're working today and it's just you're not really feeling 100% and stuff like that, definitely take some time to just kind of chill out and relax too in between. I think it's really important too. It's like some people work better by just working straight. Some people work better just by doing like spurts and then having like little rest periods in between. That's me. I'm the kind of person that will just I can work like an hour or two straight and then I need like little rest periods in between. That's just how it works for me. So it's like take some time to just chill out, relax, read a book, listen to some good music, do something fun in that solitude as well. Yeah, I'm actually gonna draw one more oracle card. I usually don't, but I'm being called to do so. Oh, we have the card of begin now. Take your first step. This gives a little bit more clarity to this Eight of Pentacles in reverse. There's something or a project that you haven't begun yet, that you've been kind of ruminating on, but you haven't quite done it just yet. I already know what it is for me. So, but take your first steps today. And it doesn't have to be a major step either. I think the reason why this could feel awkward is because we have like this big picture of whatever this thing is. For me, it's writing. So I have like this big picture for how I want my writing to look and like the goal of my writing and the books that I want to write and the novels and stuff like that. But because it's so big, sometimes it can be daunting. So I gotta hone in and kind of focus and take just a simple small step towards it, right? That's the example for me. I'm not sure what it is for you, but like I said, I was called to do something. It says begin now, take your first step. Shoot, maybe today is the day where you go get your starter Pokemon and you begin your Pokemon journey, right? So what Pokemon are you going to pick? You're going to pick Bulbasaur, you're going to pick Charmander, or Squirtle? I always pick the water starter. I always pick the water starter when I first start off, which makes sense because I have a lot of water energy in my chart. So anyways, that's going to do it for your astrology forecast today. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate that. If you would like a personal reading with me, beloved, you can follow the link in the description below to my website, jphoenix.com. And I will see you guys on the weekend astrology forecast. Y'all take care. Stay blessed. Have a fantastic Friday. Y'all going to do great. I believe in you. So peace out.